Riffin. Tuesday night, 8:30 EST. Know where we be? Jus Riffin. Special guest and tech and talk. A musicology. Jus Riffin. Coming to you live at the same time. Here every week. Jus Riffin. Jump in the room. Let's chop it up. It really ain't that deep. Jus Riffin.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Jus Riffin. Just in time. Just in time. My boy Cookie Rabinowitz is here. This is another episode of Jus Riffin. We got another special guest. He's a return guest, actually, and happy and glad that he's back because he's one of my childhood heroes. Well, actually, you know, we were probably around the same age at that time, but when I was young growing up, this guy was one of the best DJs that I knew, and he was from one of my favorite groups out of Philly called the Tuff Crew. And so happy to have him back. DJ Too Tuff will be with us today. Cookie Rabinowitz is here. We're Jus Riffin. It's Tuesday, October 15th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What is cooking, Cookie? We should do a segment called Cooking with Cookie.
I like it. You know, cooking, I mean, what can you cook? Lots of different things.
Everything, dude.
But I don't know how to cook. I cook oatmeal every morning. I do. Is that cooking on the stove, right?
Yo, bro. How do you cook oatmeal, bro?
I don't know. I put it on the stove in a pot. Just a pot maker.
Well, what do you
pot scraper, that's the song.
What do you put in your oatmeal, by the way?
Well, you know what? I'll give you a quick breakdown. I do a little oatmeal. In that oatmeal, I get a handful of walnuts. I crush them in my hand, put them in there. I get a handful of wild blueberries, I crush them in my hand. Oh, wait, no, I don't crush those. I just throw them in there. And then I put 2 tablespoons of flaxseed, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. And and then I put a pinch of this this protein something or another because there's no protein in there. And it's I mean, it tastes all right.
You didn't sound too confident. You're like, it tastes all right.
I mean, I've eaten a lot of things that taste better, even some things that aren't supposed to taste good. But at the end of the day, it all tastes like chicken, right?
True to that. So one of my homies, Jerry, he's I think he's Ukrainian Russian, like he's from over there, and so he'll make juice in the morning time. These are like carrots and all all these everything in there, all the good stuff. I don't ask what goes in there. I just know that he's putting good stuff in because he's drinking it, and I never thought I'd be drinking carrot juice. I think I used to make fun of my dad. I'm like, what are you doing, man? That stuff. I'm not really fond on like a carrot cake. I like carrots, but I'm not fond on like carrot cake or like carrot juice. And, but actually I drink it and it tastes phenomenal.
Right. I want to add to that, you're so right, because I'm exactly the same thing you said. I'll be like carrot too, I'm not really into that, but I juice them pretty much every day now. And, they taste pretty awesome. And I think I really feel a kick from them because before I started juicing carrots, I never ate carrots, and but they taste great. Because when I juice, I don't really put any fruit in the juice. I just all vegetables. But the carrots seem like they make things kind of taste really sweet and good. But anyway,
that's cool.
We have to change our show to I don't know, like a nutrition show. I don't know.
Cooking with Cookie and juicing with Julius. There we go. All right, we're on to something, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope everybody's having a good time tonight. Tonight is what is going on tonight? Because usually on Tuesdays we're catching the presidential debate. We're catching the vice presidential debate. Like it's usually during this time,
Remember that first show we started? It was supposed to be a really big show. We had David Hasselhoff was supposed to perform on our show, but
Right,
O.J. Simpson was in the cop car chase.
It was nuts, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so crazy. But we've been catching these things on our thing. So what's going on tonight? Is there anything exciting happening tonight in the world that you know of? Because I have no idea. I've been busy.
You know what? It's been a pretty busy day for me too. I don't really. I mean, obviously, there's the stuff that we all know about. But I mean, there were I can't really think of anything outside of my little bubble, my delusional bubble that's going on that I know about.
I'll tell you what, though, this is news today, and we were talking about it just before we started the show. But Donald Trump launched his coin, right? The world, whatever the thing is. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is early because I saw the tweet. It was like 26 minutes, right? And then I go, okay, let me go check this out. And I remember he during the Farouk interview, he did, like you mentioned, they did mention there was going to be this accredited investor type of situation thing, right? And so I totally forgot about all that anyway. And so I go and I'm like, sign up, connect the wallet. I had to, do my ID and all this stuff. And then I'm like, okay, good. I just was going to buy a small amount, nothing crazy, just a small amount.
80, 90K.
Yeah, yeah. And just, just leave it in the wallet, right? And then it started asking me all these other things. And I was, like, do I have a Series 7? It was like all these things. I'm like, accredited investor. Like what they wanted you to get a letter that was certified by whoever. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I just backed out of it. I'm like, I was trying to find a workaround, but there was no workaround. It wasn't easy. And I think what they're doing is they're making sure that people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, or more on this initial launch. Then they open it to the public. I can't. Yeah, I don't understand.
There probably could be a lawsuit there. You could have probably won too. You might have said the words were confusingly similar when they were saying accredited investors. You could have said, you could have sworn they said accredited investors, and that's where the confusion was.
You want to be my lawyer, Cookie?
I think we could win.
Let's take it to the bank. Donald Trump. But I think it's cool that they're doing it, that he did it. And, it's good for, for the youth, his kids, especially Barron, it's his age of young men that, where what's being built now, they're going to be taking it to the next wave. They're going to be, it's going to be ushered in from them. I think after it's being built, they'll be primed for that age group. So I think it's great that they're doing it. Plus, some of the elders that are on their way out might see other elders that are investing in crypto and other things that are on the blockchain, and it might be something that they want to get into. So I think it's good all around. We'll see. All this stuff takes time, as you know. So yeah,
for sure, it's interesting stuff. People launching different cryptocurrencies. Like, I think, how many do we really need? How many coins? How many tokens? How many chains? But hey,
as many as you can.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's like whatever's here is here, and we can, interact with what we want to act with, and interact with who we want to interact with, and that's the beauty of it. Not to censor stuff and let people, build stuff, and at the end of the day, the wallet always decides what is good and what is not, because if the wallet ain't opening up for it, whether it's an analog or digital wallet, then that whatever's built will eventually disappear, so
yeah, man, that's right. Any art have you explored? Pardon me, have you explored any new art, any have you gone back to look at any old NFTs?
I gotta say, don't mention that word to me ever again. No, I'm just kidding. But I do want to talk about some art.
Cool.
A couple things, two things. First off, Corey Van Loo had something on the timeline. It was a painting from his, he has the collection, and I'll put a link to it. I can't multitask it at once. Like, if I start talking and clicking around, I'll mess up either what I'm saying or what I'm doing. But this painting is called Resilience, and it's freaking it moved me. I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. This thing came on the timeline, and first thing I did was I was like, I gotta retweet that, right? And then I looked at it again. I was like, oh, I gotta retweet that again. Like, look at this thing, dude. It's first, and then the description. Like, if you go to the actual page where it's at, and where he has the description, like, his artistry is meticulous. Like, everything from the way he presents it to the actual art itself. to the way he describes it, to the way to the mechanics behind how it's consumed. It's truly amazing. I mean, what do you think of that resilience painting there?
I think it's great. I mean, Corey's an amazing artist. This is just the details that go into this thing.
I feel like I want to interject real quick because it's like when I look at it, I feel like I could see all the way down that road, like for miles and miles.
Yeah, I wonder if the alien is. I wonder if the alien is stretching to like get ready to jog down that path.
To me, I mean, I don't. Everybody has their own. That's what the beauty of art. We all perceive it our own way. But to me, and I'm probably wrong, but this is the way I felt it. It's like it's resilience, and he's kind of like pushing. Like he's pushing his path. He's pushing it away to his path through that forest. Because it's closed. Everything is a closed door. And you have to be resilient, and you have to be persistent. And I don't know. I just thought it was really beautiful.
Yeah, Corey's awesome. I mean, look at this piece here, dude. If we can get it open. Doesn't want to like get big. So, but man, look at this, dude. It's like he's drawing the dentist drawing. It's all drawing, dude. It's pretty sick.
I think I know the one you're going to bring up.
No, do you see it? You don't see it on the screen?
I don't see it. I see the Twitter page.
Right, I see. Hold on a second. I gotta copy the whoops, let me copy the link and put it back into there. I don't know why it does that. It doesn't like follow it opens up a new window. All right. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, man.
Isn't that nuts?
It's so good.
This is on a super rare. It's called Sleep Demons. You probably can see this, but it just won't open up big. I'm trying to get it to.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Maybe it is. It just doesn't want to open up. But at any rate, look at that thing.
Very cool. And, while we're still on the topic of art, I wanted to give a shout out to who's been making all the great artwork to compliment you and Line Trash put these great flyers and artwork together for the show. And Line Trash, I saw posted like a piece of art on his timeline. It's pretty awesome too. I love it, man. It's just like let me see if we can.
Oh, you said on Line Trash?
Yeah, on his feed. I literally just saw it like 5 minutes before when I logged on to do the show. But it's really, look at that shit. It's cool, man.
Line Trash is doing it, dude.
Yeah, I love the way he like is the right word, compiles things like together.
Yeah. I'm not sure how he does it. Yeah.
But it's always, even beyond the visual aesthetic itself, there's always like some really cool like meaning behind it. It's pretty cool.
I'm leaving him a comment right now. You guys can probably see me do this. Live from Jus Riffin. Hey, we're here live with I can't. Oh my God. I'm going to do my radio voice. We're here live with Jus Riffin. We're on Line Trash's page right now. We're leaving a comment, and here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Don't know why I said that, but I did it. All right, cool. Yeah. So like, good stuff, man. There you go. Bam. Line Trash. Line Trash has been doing some really cool art for the flyers, everybody. So eventually what we're going to do, I got to turn the air conditioner off because I could hear it loud. So loud in here, man. But what we're going to do, I don't want to lose my train of thought, is with all of the artwork that Line Trash has done and doing, I think, we started a channel on the, what do you call it? Discord. And he put them in there, and I counted like 18 of them. And I'm like, holy crap. Cause we do a show once a week, and it's just amazing how fast, time flies when we get actually, engaged in doing, work with Line Trash, for the show. So, I'm really amazed. 18. So at any rate, what we're doing is we're going to eventually, not the flyers, but the artwork itself. He's going to put it together, and we're going to create a collection of NFTs, a collection of digital art, so to speak. Right. And we're going to auction those off, and all the proceeds are going to go to Line Trash, because he had some you know, Texas a while back had gotten flooded. It got a lot of rain, and so his house got damaged, and so yeah, dealing with that stuff. And so he's doing all the artwork for free for us. He doesn't like, you know, ask for a dime. So I think for us, for our way to give back, we're going to do this for him, and you know, and people will get a chance to get some really cool one-of-one art from Line Trash. So we don't know how that's going to go down, but we're going to eventually do it. Hopefully, we can tie in some myriad points.
Yeah.
Myriad market points with this for
Nice.
Tuff Riffin.
Always
And,
trying to hustle them points.
Yeah, let's get it since we're powered by Rug Radio. Make sure you check out Myriad Markets also. The link is in my bio on Twitter. So check that out. Yeah. There's Line Trash. What up, Line Trash? Line Trash.
Up.
Yo, what up? What up? What up?
Oh, cool. I got to go in the comments, see what we got now.
Yeah, of course, Line Trash. We love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're one of the homies, bro. One of the homies, bro. There's J6 saying, what's up?
What's up?
So yeah, we gotta so today is another cool day for us. We got DJ Too Tuff here with us today. So stick around because we're gonna get to him in a minute here, in a few minutes here rather. And so what do you want to do? You want to run to this we got our 2-minute tune-up. You think it's time for the 2-minute tune-up? I don't even know what I don't have anything for it. I'm gonna wing it.
I was gonna start leaning in more towards the music related stuff. And do we have Too Tuff in the studio yet?
We do. He's chilling, but let me get to the 2-minute tune-up. Yeah.
Well, the reason why I was saying is because I mean, maybe he wants to jump in on that too. But if not, that's cool too. But I guess he can let us know in the private chat. But
Okay.
if you play it, I got something. I'll wait for you to hit us with it.
The 2-minute tune-up, where Hefner and J6 have 2 minutes exactly to respond to each other's topic of the week. Jus Riffin. Welcome to the show, DJ Too Tuff. What's happening, buddy?
What's good, bro? Good to be on. Good to see you.
Hell yeah.
Right on, man. So this part of the show, we do a 2-minute tune-up, and we usually just bring up a topic, and we all comment on it for 2 minutes before we get on to the nitty-gritty of the actual conversation. So, Hef, if it's cool with you, I had this, since I'm, kicking at the doors, trying to get this music on, I had this pressing question in my head. Artist websites, are they important? Are they necessary anymore? Or are we just using social media to do stuff? And that's my topic, and I'd like to hear what both you guys think about that.
All right, Too Tuff, I'm gonna let you take the reins on this since you're our special guest today. So you go first, and I'll rock after you.
Word, my honor. Artist websites, I mean, depending on how much time you have, you could have a myriad of different social media sites. I have a YouTube page. I don't really administer to it that much. I have a Instagram page, which is kind of like my pet prize, I recently was offered for a team to build me an app, and it would be the Too Tuff app, just like Google or any other app, and that would have allowed me to preview my mixtapes, give a sneak preview of some of the mixtape sets I might have done, sell music, purchase my album, all contained in one spot. And that comes with a, I don't know, $50, $75 a month fee. So if it's feasible in your budget for the artist to do it, if it's gonna at least pay for itself, and you have the extra time to, indulge, you might need the cooperation of the person who's putting the site together, as is the case with the app. It's not like, I guess there are features that I could change and upgrade content myself, but I don't know if I want to get into a whole nother social media aspect on a whole nother platform. I'm just kind of getting to be able to do Instagram with my eyes closed. But I think one of the more important things about the upcoming artists, whether you're trying to revitalize your name from a glory days of the past or a new artist trying to break onto the scene, I think consistency has a lot to do with it, regardless of what platform you choose, or what social media site you choose to, express yourself on. I think that a daily showing, at least in the storyline, if you don't want to put anything up that's going to stay there forever, if you're concerned about how many likes you're going to get as opposed to how many views you're going to get. If you're pressing the hide my likes button and it says, you know, this person and others like Too Tuff's post, and I go through that in the background, you know, I want all of my, I don't have the 1,000, you know, I don't put up a post and then I got 1,000 likes. But people like OT the Real and Leak Moss and, you know, Beanie Siegel and artists like that, Benny the Butcher. I was recently on tour with BSF, so I got to rub elbows with a lot of different people, and I learned a lot of different ways that they behave both in real life and on social media.
No doubt. Thank you for the 1-2 on that, DJ Too Tuff, and much respect to that. For me, I'm going to look at it not from a artist standpoint. I'm going to look at it from just a marketing standpoint. So I believe all of these things are very important to a music creative artist, you know, whether you're doing music or art or you're pushing any sort of project, doesn't matter. It could be a brand. Social media, very important because that's where we're all at today. We're all on social media where we're seeing everything. That's where we get it fast. I'm not watching TV anymore. And if I am, it's like, you know, stuff that's no commercials, you know. The only thing I watch that has commercials and I don't even watch them is when I'm watching sports. Because it's live. So, but other than that, I think it's very important to have social media. And then to answer this here, where it all leads back, because you want them to come to your website. You don't want to put everything on social media. You want to have ownership of your stuff. So, you know, it's good to have your social media and then push them or pull them, I should say, into your world, which is your website. And then you can let them explore, you know, and that's where you get a chance to, be extra creative, where you can actually resonate and compel them to stay on your website, to become a fan. There's other things that you can do for, you know, on your website where you blend the two worlds together, which is the social media and the things that are relevant, you know, where people are at, and then also to get them to your website. So that's my 1-2 on that.
Cool. I love all those takes. Both of those takes were really insightful and cool, man. And I think it's, you know, it's a good thing to talk about because, you know, these artists, and as like Too Tuff said, you know, when you're an artist too, you only have so much bandwidth. Like, you can't spend all this time on all that stuff because then when do you make the music? When do you go out on the road? You know, so to have that easy access, like, once again, referring to Too Tuff talking about the Instagram is that's his thing. That's easy on the go. Like you can have that on your phone. You just get off stage, boom, this is me and who I was just playing the gig with, you know, I was playing the show with. And you can engage with people who are interested in your work without it hindering the actual work as much, you know. So I think that's cool.
I think that the new accomplice along the way for any solo artist or any group, you know, myself as a DJ / solo artist, the new accompanying person has to be the cameraman, because I can't take footage of myself. You know, if I have a road manager and he's you know, he's not willing to run around, you know, on stage with me taking close up footage and stuff like that. It content is king. If you got your own personal dude on stage with the camera, shout out to my boy J Mac. I see him right next to OT the Real all the time. On the Benny the Butcher tour, OT brought me on as his DJ. So I did 5-6 shows in the Midwest area, Chicago, Boston, Irving Plaza, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a couple other joints. We drove up there.
How was that? So this was just recent, Too Tuff?
Yeah, this was, well, 2 months ago.
Awesome. So you did all these tour dates, and so what was that like? You were driving around to each show, or you were flying? How was the experience?
Yeah, we made our way up there. We made our way up there by, you know, good means of transportation, and driving up there, and
that must have been awesome because you got a chance to like see, you know, the sights. I'm sure while you were driving, you got a chance to see a little bit of America.
Yeah, salute my man J Mac. He's not just a cameraman, but he's also the driver. He held it down heavy. But I got to DJ for not only OT, but also for like the opening acts, BSF's opening acts in each city. So I got an extended amount of time, you know, on stage at all of these different cities. and I kind of tried to cater the music to, you know, whoever was rocking. If we went to Boston, I played Feed the Family and Bodie Rock, and you know, a couple other artists that I discovered along the way. Um, but it was good to interact with, like, you know, I did all of the acts up until Boldy James and then Benny himself, and that's when Zookeeper came on. So I got to meet a lot of people. I got to rub elbows with a lot of people that I look at like, you know, rap gods. You know, being next to Benny and shit like this, being next to OT even. You know, I look up to these dudes because they're the generation that can make me younger by me tapping in with them. Just like Static Selector, you know, they fuck with Stack, they fuck with K Slay and RIP K Slay, you know, Funk Flex. Everybody who used to be somebody in the DJ thing has strengthened or improved their situation, you know, through the Sirius satellite radio and the XFM stuff like that, where they got their own shows. Shout out to my man Gorilla Nems. He just got a Sirius satellite radio show, his own John. Disrespect Radio, I think it's called. So I try to fit myself into whatever situation I can make myself be useful to, you know, and sometimes the path is not what I expected it to be, but it ends up being much more than what I could have even dreamed up. So I'm grateful for the opportunity still to be moving after like 35 years in the hip hop game, still be relevant, you know, still have people recognize me on the bus. My son don't like it that much. He's like, they're recognizing you a lot today, man. Like we're just walking home from school and shit.
That's dope, man.
But it's always good to, you know, if got to set the example. I talked about consistency on the social media platform, but as well consistency behind the scenes when nobody's looking. You know, putting in the work. Are you still making beats? Do you practice scratching? Can you do the same cuts that you did in 1989? So damn tough. Can you do them now? You know, eight or 9 years ago, I used to question myself because I wasn't performing as frequently. But now I barely get a chance to practice. All of my practice takes place in front of 500 to 2,000 people most of the time. So it's always excellent to test it live. You know, live
Absolutely.
ammunition.
Yeah, I saw some video. You were doing something. You were just DJing, you know, and I was like, he still got it. He still got it, bro. Because you know, it's muscle memory. Cookie and I talk about it all the time. You know, if you're not practicing, you know, your muscle memory, your muscles, you know. So that's good that you get a chance to do that, and you're doing it live in front of everybody, and that's awesome that you still got it. You know.
What's really crazy is most of those live performances, even though I prepared, you know, songs, specially made song, and had the set put together, they were pretty much impromptu in front of crowds in Germany, Zurich, Switzerland, Manchester, Leeds, London. I'd never been to any of those places before. So going on the road for an extended 13 show tour with Ultramagnetic, and then, you know, kind of taking it one show at a time for me, because I wasn't even scheduled to have any kind of opening set. And I ended up with a 15-minute opening set at all of those 13 shows. And eventually it led to me going back over there with Cool G Rap, Egyptian Lover, and
Oh my gosh, dude.
2 weeks ago. You know, to me,
Memories.
my head, it's like 2 years ago, but it just happened 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
It was extra incredible to go back to London as well. I performed at a really famous little spot called Chip Shop, and they had Chuck D rhyme there, Be Real rhyme there, Cormega rhyme there. They got all vintage stuff inside that location, but it was great. It's in Brixton, so I'd never been to Brixton. It's like a dark ass South Street.
That's dope. Brixton had a lot of cool MCs came out of Brixton also. I know it's like a hip hop mecca over there for them. But when you mentioned Ultramagnetic, you know, those said G and Cool Keith, dude. I love Cool Keith, man. Those guys were my heroes growing up too. You know, that's dope. So were they performing together as Ultramag?
Yeah, all of the shows were every member. Said missed a couple shows initially because of a passport situation, but he got over there for the Amsterdam show. That was my first time rhyming. Cool Cool Keith threw me an alley oop and brought me turntable out there and rap for the first time. I got mad love from the crowd. Dude stood up in the middle screaming, "Behold the detonator." I was like, I didn't know I was such an iconic figure. For me, the rapping part is a lot less pressure than the scratching part. I could go out there and get into my gangster rapper costume, and it's not a problem. I don't fret it as much as, when all the cameras go up and it's so dance, so I'm trying to do the exact scratches that you heard on the wax right in front of your face, and
Yeah,
it always comes out great, but it's always more pressurized. You know what I mean?
that's
I
right.
found that the best way to overcome any kind of pressure or fear, as far as living up to expectations from the past, trying to be a perfectionist, the best way to quell all of those feelings is to bring good energy to the people that's going to be there before the show, whoever booked me to come out there, people on the way that might be driving me there on the bus like they did to Urban Matters. I try to see what was the best kind of good energy I can bring to a situation, and then usually the moments on stage take care of themselves without me having to manage them so much. They just kind of occur spontaneously. And I find myself out there eye to eye with Cool G Rap, busting up with him in the hotel. These are only things that I could have only dreamed of, 10, 15 years ago. And even though the tours were still happening, they weren't happening as frequently. So it's always good to be back on the Jus Riffin show.
Right on. Hey, that was there was a lot of great stuff in that past 5 minute riff, man. I loved it, and I want to rewind it a little bit to where you were talking about, uh, feeling, going to the show and you know your practice on the stage when you get these shows, and then also the part where you added that you unexpectedly got a 15-minute opener out of it, like to warm up the set and actually do your thing. So how long and what is your method, if you don't mind, to prepare for something like that? Because, it was a very short notice. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, it was. Well, I had some beats that I was working on 2 years ago. I signed a contract to release my Lost Archives on double vinyl on Rough Nation. That dropped. It was a great release. I did 2 extra songs on there and it sold out on double vinyl. Shortly after that, I signed a deal for 2 projects that was released, executive produced by Chuck D on a label called Spit Slam, Chuck D from Public Enemy. So I had one was on vinyl. The first one was called Behold the Detonator. The second one was called Me Versus Me. And they were all original production that I did either by myself or with my partner Rapid Fire or It's Obvious or Thorough 215 from Soup Kitchen. And after a while, I had a couple extra beats. So going to the sets, my boy Rapid Fire, he's from the UK. He said, "Yo, they want to see you scratch over up tempo stuff, like 118, 115, 120 beats per minute." So I went and got some of the old original Tuff Crew samples, the original songs that we made the Tuff Crew albums out of, and I just took a longer, maybe like for example, an 8-bar break instead of a 2-bar loop on what you don't know, boom boom, and just coincidentally, it starts out with the ultrasound, banner, 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 banner. Well, I'm sonically,
Mhm.
sonically, so the same track that Tuff Crew used for what you don't know, doom doom, doom doom, starts out with the ultrasound, so it was
What
good. So
y'all know.
I dropped a heavy ass 808 under about 6 or 7, old school beats that maybe Tuff Crew used, maybe, like a bouncy lady with 808 smooth momentum remake, and I did it live, in
Damn. Man.
crowd. So it was I had a set that I would go by, but I also veered off a little bit, to just put some spontaneity into each situation by playing some of the most famous United Kingdom old school hip hop songs. Like in Leeds, I played, the local artists from Leeds. In Manchester, I played the local artists from Manchester. In London, there was huge following, so I played a lot of, groups like Hijack and Hard Noise, and groups like that they didn't know that I even knew about, and it drew a lot of love. They was like, "Damn, Too Tough over there rocking the UK classics," and I had a secret weapon because my boy gave me a crate. He was like, "Yo, if you play these, they'll love you forever," because nobody remembers these, and a lot of the guys that made these records are going to be in the crowd at London. So we followed through with the plan. It was a big success. Even when we got to Belgium and Switzerland and Germany, you know, over there, Europe is a little different than the United Kingdom, but they still rocked with those up tempo joints.
Awesome.
It gave me a little bit of a breakaway instead of scratching. I mean, I can only scratch, you know, 15 minutes is cool. I scratch for the whole damn 15 minutes, but it's like a, you know, a ADHD bout. Like it's all the way up. Everything's one. I gotta have a, you know, sip of water somewhere along the way. I like to just let it rip, you know.
Yeah, that's right, dude. You were speaking of some classics, dude. Smooth Momentum. Like, dude, I mean, that first album was, or that was the second album, but that was like just super dope. But you know what I was listening to the other day was Back to the Rec Shop. So like, you know, She Rides the Pony, dude, and Behold the Detonator was a dope. The Mountain Song was fresh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, what you don't know, dude. Your chirps on that, what you don't know.
That's exactly what I redid over there. Shut up.
Already.
Cutting the house quake over top of a remade. You know, I went back and redid the Shut Up Already beat, and most of them were like that. And I used the same routine, you know, the same routine of maybe 18 songs, 18 songs and 18 scratch snippets, you know, so like 9 and 9.
Is it on YouTube? Like, did you put any videos up where people could watch stuff?
You go to my page, you can see it in the Ultramagnetic playlist. There's about 61 videos of Ultra Too Tuff in Europe on that Ultra Year of the Ultra tour. They recorded it heavily and it went right up on YouTube. So that saved me a lot of trouble. You know, even though I don't get the views, I just want to see it. You know, I get more of a thrill out of the actual live performances. Although the airplane rides are becoming less enjoyable as I go, the more that I take, you know, the less I'm thrilled about the long 11-hour, 10-hour flights to Dublin, Ireland. But it's good because it's hey, it gives you time to be quiet, it gives you time to pray. You might have time to be bored in the age of social media. My son plays VR, and then when he puts the VR down, he picks up the tablet. And then when he's finished on the tablet, then he puts YouTube on TV or watches a movie. You know what I mean? So there's never any downtime for my 10-year-old, and there's barely any for me as well. I gotta kind of carve it out, you know. 15 minutes of just quiet each day is beneficial, I found, just for kind of a reset, you know.
That's right. I found a video. Like I was looking for your page, but I'm gonna pop this up here, and then I don't want to play. You're playing. This is music I can't play, right? Like you're playing music, songs that I can't play on YouTube, right? Because it will get copyright, you know. So, but this is DJ Too Tuff in Southampton, right? This is break. You could see this. So break this down for us. Tell us what's going on here. We see you're DJing.
That's in Southampton.
Southampton, yeah.
Yeah, I never even saw this footage, so I'm seeing the footage for the first time.
Dope, dude. But I know you're cutting it up to right there. You're cutting it up.
This was not last Sunday, but the Sunday before. It was at a club called The Loft in Southampton. And it was they brought me out. It was the first time that I was ever presented to someone as their birthday gift. So the local legend named DJ Steve O from out there, and I met him the night before, busted it up with him for a couple hours at a gig that he was performing at. And then the next day was his big birthday party at the Loft. And their gift to him was bringing Too Tuff to DJ his birthday party. So
that's so fucking dope.
Hey, I never got, you know, flown out to another country to DJ somebody's birthday party as a special guest. So it was another bucket list moment, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. Walk us, if you don't mind, walk us through what with the technology that you're using here, that you were using in this video here. So, if you don't mind, break down what you're tell the kids what you're using.
They usually have two 1200s up on stage already. I request a Pioneer S9. Pioneer S11, which is a battle mixer, Serato enabled. I don't have a problem using a Rain 72, Rain 68, Rain 62, or any of those mixers as well. The only issue that occurs up there on stage is a possible driver issue. I use Serato DJ Pro. I got, you know, two control vinyls that I use Phase DJ, which is two kind of domino looking devices that match my hand movements through GPS onto the record, and I see it go. I see, like, if I move my hand and scratch, then I see it moving and scratching on the screen. It's kind of industry standard now for every DJ, you know, to use those instead of vinyl, because it gives you a lot less that you have to carry.
That's incredible, dude. Just period. That, you know, you transition because you're a DJ that was, you know, came up where there was just records. There was none. We didn't have any of this stuff, and to have your brain relearn, you know, change. A lot of people don't like to change. They're like so used to their own ways.
I didn't like it at first either, but I mean, it's a whole lot less to carry. I can have hundreds of thousands of songs on my laptop or on an external hard drive, as opposed to, you know, what's the maximum amount of records that I'm going to be able to carry on an airplane?
80 in a crate.
A lot. I did that the last 2 weeks. I had a pinched nerve in my back. The day before I went to Helmand, Netherlands to do the Cool G Rap show, a couple days before, I just had I felt a little tink in my back, and this it's been going on for like 6 weeks now. I came back. So one thing that I know, it was a concentrated effort. I wasn't walking around not in pain. I can tell you that. But I also wasn't walking around bitching out loud about it in person. You know, higher than the celebrity capacity. My job is to bring good energy at the hotel, when they pick me up at the airport, when they're dropping me back off to go home, during the show, during the autograph session, handle that same great energy, bring great energy to other people throughout the meet and greet and all of that. So, you know, the pain, got to put that to the side for a minute. And it was a little difficult, but I even put it on Instagram. Bring good energy to everyone you meet. You know, that was my storyline. That was one of my story posts for that day. So as I engage in my Instagram addiction, I can remind myself by putting up self prompts. Sometimes I use the social media more to talk to myself than I want people to press like, or at least in the story section of Instagram.
I love that, man. Especially earlier when you were saying bringing the good energy to the stage is how you know you're going to succeed. And it's so true. Like, if you're well rehearsed and on point, but bring a bad state of mind to your performance, you can bring everybody down, and it can just be a disaster. If Likewise, and not that you should be unprepared, but sometimes you go in just on a wing and a prayer, but you got the energy, you got the positive attitude, and you connect with the audience, and that's what they're about, you know, and that's what ultimately it's about, bringing good energy, I think, you know.
The energy that I put out was the exact same energy I got back, you know, and we showed up at like informal DJ gatherings before the show and after the show, and there was always a lot of dinners that went on, especially at the Urban Matters. Gotta send a shout out to my man Hans from Urban Matters. This is the third time I went to Helmand. This time I went as DJ and host, and those events for the 3 days. It's a 3-day Urban Matters festival that involves hip hop, old school hip hop, and outdoor like BMX and X Games, you know, situations, as well as vinyl and merch. And then there was a panel discussion. It was me, Grandmaster Caz, the G Rap, and a couple members of Cold Crush Brothers, and they were asking us questions on the same stage that we performed on the night before. But it was different for me to be in you know, each mic'd up with Grandmaster Caz. Like I said, I can only dream about half of this stuff.
That's incredible.
I pinch myself when it comes true. Like
Yeah.
2 years ago, I found myself DJing next to Mantronics. Like
Damn, dude.
next to me, and I'm fucking scratching over top of Mantronics. And for the moment, I looked over and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, you're really on stage with Mantronics, because as a kid I used to stupid fresh. You know, Mantronics on Sleeping Bag was
Yeah.
one of the vinyls that, you know, one of the top favorite vinyls that I probably ever had. All the Mantronics joints.
We mentioned Mantronics. I forget on what show we were talking about it, but you know, we brought up Mantronics, and man, those were the days, dude. Sleeping Bag Records, yeah, EPMD was on there too, but and Tila Rock, man, that Lyrical King album, and we you know, I used to give this like trivia to my hip hop heads, like, you know, who beatboxed for Tila Rock, and no one knows who the fuck beatboxed for Tila Rock, but it was Greg Nice, Greg Nice.
Right. Says
Yeah,
it on the Latoya graffiti cover. It says beatbox by Greg Nice.
yeah,
That
and Just Ice, dude, that Latoya.
Just Ice beatbox for him too.
No, Just Ice had a song Latoya.
Oh yeah.
He had Davey. I forget who. I think it was Davey DMX. I forget who. I got to go back. Because I just don't remember who beatbox for. But he did have someone that beatbox for him. That's right. Just Ice did.
Talk about underneath the Mantronics originals, there was a beatbox. That I didn't know that was Greg Nice.
Yeah, Greg Nice, dude. He's on
Greg,
that. You know, Tila Rock. Go back and listen to that album, bro.
I'm gonna go back.
It's funny.
Z-Trip, LL Cool J, and Greg Nice have a show called Salute the Sample. Not that long ago, Z-Trip's a special dude to me, because he kind of threw me a couple lifelines throughout my career. One, he sent me a Rain 54 mixer in the mail. It just showed up like a mixer arrives in the mail, scratch mixer. This was around 2007, early on in the comeback. And then a couple years later, he sent me a Tascam 688 MIDI production studio that I had these cassette tapes that I made with Tuff Crew and Mechanism and Prime Minister Dope and Straight Business, a couple groups that I had between 92, 91 and 93. And I still have the cassette tapes, and we've been dropping songs off of them for the last 20 years. And Z-Trip sent me that, you know, piece of equipment that I needed, and we ended up transferring them. That became the Lost Archives. So salute to my man Z-Trip, of course. You know, special thanks to fucking LL and Greg Nice they did Go in the Distance. So he played the original Bill Conti, Rocky John, and then he said from Tuff Crew, you know, just called Go in the Distance, and it was great homage. Z-Trip told me a couple of things when I saw him at the DJ Expo a couple years ago, and prior to that, he brought me out to Central Park with Rakim, Kid Capri, kid named Rhyme Fest. Probably told this story before, but he stopped the show in like 2007 and brought me out there and reintroduced me to the hip hop world, and I got a lot of feedback off of that. You know, got noticed, and he told me you should just, you know, do vicious scratching over a break beat, and that should be your whole routine. And I took that into account for the most recent one with Ultra. I said, you know, after 20 years of him, after 15, 20 years of him suggesting that, I said, let me put it into effect, and it kind of worked out really well. You know, just a recognizable break that, you know, up tempo, more than 112 beats a minute, and something crazy to scratch. You know, shut up already, whatever it was.
Already, yeah.
It's like running it's like a sprint. You know, for me, each track is a sprint.
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to tell you. So it wasn't Davey DMX. Davey DMX was a DJ also, but it was DMX. It just was DMX. The Human Beatbox is what it was. Yeah, but that whole going back to that whole like Sleeping Bag. That was such a good era of hip hop, man, and that's super dope that you have a chance to hang with these dudes now. And you know, Z-Trip, Zach, what a great guy, you know, like sending you those mixers. That's just who does that, you know, like who does that shit?
That was life. Yeah, excellent.
That's dope. Cookie, you know, you've heard of Z-Trip before?
I have not, but I heard of Davey DMX though.
Davey DMX.
You know, I think I was singing sensitive ponytail folk songs during those days.
Too funny, man.
But
oh yeah.
Yeah. I was actually, you know what, not to sidetrack, but I was actually trying to like repost this room in Twitter, and it's really hard to find the button to do that, which is weird. It's kind of not intuitive. They should, the video part, the spaces was a lot easier.
Oh
But
yeah,
anyway, just riffing here, but
just riffing. That's right. So Too Tuff, I want to ask you, man, while Cookie's doing that, you got into rhyming, right? You're on the mic now. So what's going on there? First of all, with that, because I'm a DJ too that would get on the mic as well because I just love rhyming. But so what drew you to it? Because you have a dope voice, as you already know.
Thank you.
So what got you there?
A couple of things brought me to that point. One was the heavy influence of an artist from Philly, a kid named OT the Real. I told you I went on tour with him, but even before I was blessed with the opportunity to, be his DJ 7 or 8 different shows, I was kind of watching from a distance, and I heard that he was doing a video shoot with this kid named Millie's from up in Boston, and they were doing it at 4th and Somerset down the way in the Badlands. So I got my 10-year-old son, and we got a ride down there. We showed up at the video shoot and threw the football around, got in the video and all of that. And it was kind of like I wanted to go down there to show some support to a fellow rapper fighting through the same kind of adversity that I fought through in the same Kensington neighborhood, fighting through the drugs and fighting through the color lines and whatever other situation, the white rapper from the hood, stigma. So it's always good to, not be a fucking sellout. So when I got with this group, this clique called Soup Kitchen, it kind of made me younger, and I learned the words, the DJ. If you're the DJ, that means you get a mic too, so you could do ad libs from the back. If you could sit there like a bump on a log, and just play the music and stand there and look stiff, or you could get into the performances. I found out that if I added something else, more of a visual spectacle in the background, first I need to know the words. So as I learned all the old songs and shit like that, on the side, I would write 4 bars of my own, 8 bars of my own. I do it on my phone on the notes app on the iPhone. And then after like a month, I had this long rhyme. Then I really didn't know how to say it to a beat. So there's a lot more to it. Being a rapper, like you could write the shit and then you got to learn it to a beat, and then you might have to learn it to any beat. So it was a process. It was climaxed when Kool Keith, let me come out there in a packed house in Amsterdam and bust a rhyme. And then I came back to Philly after that, and I went into this joint called Profit Over Wages Cypher, which is by a company called the Poppy Store. And that's when I wrote a rhyme specifically for that one. He said he needed one more. I told him meet me at the Poppy Store. So it was a pretty, setup to win right there. Actually, on October 2nd or maybe October 4th, there's another Poppy Store event that we're doing up here in Northeast Philly. And I won 2nd place on that Poppy Store, John. So I got a dope ass hoodie.
That's right.
Me back as a judge, like since I got the 2nd place prize, they bring me back as a legendary judge on the 2nd. It's going to be a bunch of, upcoming rhymers there, battle rappers and stuff like that. Remember, I was in a group. I was the DJ. I wasn't the lead face of Tuff Crew initially coming in. I wasn't the lead. I wasn't the front man. There was 3 rappers that were front men before me. But after Tuff Crew broke up and we went our separate ways, I kind of went back, maybe 10 or 15 years later. I never completely gave up on that whole Skull and Bones, Tuff Crew Danger Zone thing. I put my heart and soul into that. So I went back and picked up some of the pieces of the skulls and the bones and glued them back together with some Gorilla Glue, and I polished it up and try to put a Tuff Crew reunion back together. That happened in 1986 with the original members. And from there, I just kept on working little by little by little. But at the times when maybe the other members of the group had other things going on in their life, and I was kind of like maybe the only one with hip hop as the top priority. Well, I figured that it might be good to either, integrate myself into a couple other situations where I could perform for other rhymers, or maybe even rhyme myself. Maybe that would make the price go up for me as a performance, which is exactly what it did. Going out to Southampton, going to Urban Matters as a DJ and the host. Well, that was something different for me, and I never did it before. So I was less afraid of the things that I would say on the mic, or how I would operate on the mic, as I was still more concerned about how I was going to operate on the turntables and achieve this legendary status that I don't even know. I couldn't even draw you a graph of where legendary is on the bar, but it's a haunting thought to go there to underperform because they bring such good energy. Again, I told you all these are irrational fears that I'm again bringing back to you, because when I bring good energy to the people in the crowd, when they show up with the Tuff Crew records, back to Rec Shop, flipping kilos, and all these throwback, vinyl albums overseas that they got, it's humbling to stand there and sign with them. And they always tell me that, they appreciate me for taking the time and, being a real dude, busting it up with them. Some of them be drinking and shit like that. It's not a problem for me. I I try to suck up every bit of, energy and good positive um exchanges from each of those moments with each of those people, because I'll most likely never see any of those people again. So I can leave a lifetime mark on some of them just by bringing good energy and remembering that the arrogance and the entitlement and the I'm too important, or I don't have time for this shit. All of those ideas, I leave them in a suitcase at the hotel room, and I come there with the best amount of energy, that I can bring, because one day there won't be no more opportunities to do stuff like that. So I want to leave a unshakable memory of the legend of Too Tuff.
Yeah.
What
Now,
you put in is what you're going to get out, right?
for sure, and the fact that you're, like you said, you're being a host now, I can totally relate to what you're saying, that you still feel like, when you're working the turntables, the pressure's on, but when you're an MC or when you're a host, it's kind of like, because it's kind of cool because there's not really any expectations of you that way.
Yep.
And I think that
A
kind of sets you up to win, you know?
lot less, a lot less. I could be myself, I can interact with the crowd. Sometimes, like when they used to try to hire me to be a wedding DJ. Oh, I used to hate it. I'd be like, what the fuck? I gotta do the mother, daughter, bride dance and all of that. I'm not doing all of that shit. I'm bringing somebody that they'll do that. And usually I didn't end up bringing anybody. And the wedding was a horrible, terrible. For me, it was terrible because I couldn't wait to get out of there. I said, "You don't really want me to destroy your wedding, do you?" And some of them were like, "Yo, you did an excellent job. That's exactly what we brought you there to do. Just scratch." But
So-
I didn't used to like to talk. I was like, why do I got to talk? I'm the DJ. But I learned that as I was able to grow and move a little bit further, especially with doing interviews like this. I've done a lot of interviews, and it helped me with my public speaking, and helped me operate in rooms around, like I said, people that I look up to, like mythological figures, Rick Hyde, Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, rappers like that. It's like the part of the Mount Rushmore for me. So when I find myself sitting in a dressing room with them, at drinking an orange juice or something, I still got that I got to pinch myself moment. So it's cool when you can operate around your legends, around legendary figures that you watch on YouTube, and then you find yourself rubbing elbows with them in real life, eating a cheesesteak or asking them where the bathroom is. It's just crazy. Shout out to my team, Tuff Crew. We're receiving an award from a local Philly establishment, Shelly Shell. It's called Urban Expressions. They're giving us a Hall of Fame award this Saturday the 19th in Germantown. There's a whole party going on for the award acceptance and all of that. So I look forward to seeing LA Kid, Ice Dog, Tone Love. We're gonna have Monty G in the house. All
Wow,
the whole,
dude, come on.
yeah, whole Tuff Crew is
The
gonna be.
whole shebang, dude.
I'll shoot you the flyer, and maybe if you want to stop through, or you want to, do a video call while I'm there with the guys, and
Oh, that would be dope, dude. Wait, when is this?
this Saturday.
This Saturday. Okay, maybe we have to work an arrangement on, then we could maybe record it, do it through here, record it, and then we can play it next Tuesday on the show, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that would be awesome to talk to those guys too, because I mean, like I told you, already know when I told you on the last show, dude, you really inspired me to, first of all, to make sure that I was, tight with my chirps, because you're the first person that I heard. I really think you invented the chirp, because I don't think I heard the chirp before I heard, you doing it, and you were just so slick with it. Like, incredible, man. Really, really dope.
I learned how to chirp from listening to Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, Jazzy Jeff. But you perfected it though, because Jeff might have did it. I think it's kind of like, where I believe, and I'm going to go out on a limb like this, but I think Cash Money invented the Transformer scratch, and then Jeff perfected it. So if Jeff invented the chirp, DJ Too Tuff perfected the fucking chirp. Yeah, that's it.
I'll take that award. I accept it.
Yo,
where's your fly?
Yo, pertaining to that, me and Too Tuff have a mutual friend, Kevin Vecchione, right?
Whoa,
and I remember when me and Kevin would talk, we'd be on a gig or something, he'd bring up you Too Tuff, and he would tell me about like high school days, and he'd be like, I remember going over Too Tuff's house. He was the first guy I ever saw, like he had 2 turntables, and I was like, Kevin's saying this, he's like, why do you need 2 turntables? And then you showed him, like, and it blew his mind, It was like nobody, like, really, that's how early in the game that is,
Kev was a great friend for me at the prep. We went to St. Joe's Prep together. Kev was also led the way as far as recovery. Even during the times when I didn't have any clean time, Kev was still rooting for me. He would call me, occasionally he plugged me into a couple people who were able to plant seeds in my life that didn't grow immediately, but because of directly because of people and suggestions that Kev made, I was able to find a path amongst the thorny bushes. Thank God I did. But in high school we were crazy. We used to get thrown out of class all the time for like throwing M&Ms. It's like a prep school, you know what I mean? So you're not supposed to do shit. You could you're going to get thrown out, and our mom and dad paid a lot of money for that, for us to go there and do crazy shit. But we had a lot of fun at the prep. Probably the best 4 years of my life, up until the hip hop madness started, because from 82 to 86 we were at the prep, Kev as well. And for me, when 86 came, it turned into some kind of rap dream. I found myself that summer. I graduated in June, and by September I was already like with Luke Skywalker in Liberty City, Florida.
Hack Jam, baby.
Liberty City, Miami.
Yeah.
Walking underneath, we're like, just snap your fingers and everything changes. So that was we performed at a baseball stadium called Roberto Clemente Baseball Stadium, and there is some footage of it up on YouTube.
Yeah, Miami Stadium, it was called. Let me ask you a question. Wait, was this the show? Ice-T was there. Biz Markie was there. EPMD was there. You guys were there. Yeah. I was there. I was on stage, dude, because at that time I was with Edward Merriweather, Suntown Records, and I was chilling on stage. But you mentioned Luke Skywalker, and Mr. Mix was, the producer and DJ for Two Live Crew. Yeah. He was my real mentor. Like, I'd go over his house that's how I learned how to DJ. I just spoke to him the other day. I'm hoping to get him on the show.
That's dope. I want to come on and meet Mr. Mix when you get him on the show.
Hell yeah. Dude, that'll be dope.
I probably met him when we were there, but it was such a rapid run through, those shows, and it was a blur. But
You guys came down there a lot, actually. Tuff Crew came down there. I performed with you, I think, on 2 occasions at Hot Wheels. I told you this last time. Yeah, in Kendall, that was fun.
We were #1 down there for like 11 weeks, so we did extended stay.
Power 96.
I remember LaJuan Love walked into our hotel room through the outside window. We was like, he had the little hat on.
Yeah, he had his run too. That was Luke Records as well, Luke Skywalker Records, man. So what was that?
He said, "Gotta be tough, buddy."
Yeah. Oh, that was Shadi, MC Shadi.
Oh, that's right, Shadi too.
That's right.
Shadi. He's the one that came through the window.
Ah, Shadi, yeah. That's hilarious.
Crazy.
So many good times, man.
So I had fun talking to you guys tonight. My son has school tomorrow. I wanted to give him a shout out while we're on the air because he got 4 A+ and an A. Now, I don't know how, because I judge myself harshly on because there hasn't been any homework. Like I tell him, I ain't seen homework all week. I actually haven't seen any homework for 2 years. And they tell me at school that homework is being phased out in exchange for class participation and everything gets done in the school. This is public school. I don't know about, at the prep, they probably still got homework. But my 10-year-old Jordan, brought home straight A's. And I already told you his opinion on my fame sometimes. But he has aspirations to be a rapper. I can tell you who his favorite rapper is. A kid named Pac God. You know who it is?
Cookie does. Cookie's big fan.
Pac
God, yeah, man. You know what? I have all his records. I'm spitting that on there.
Record.
No, hey, big up to your son though. Big up to Jordan. Jordan, congratulations, dude. 4 A's, not easy to do. To get 1 A, that means you're really paying attention in school, paying attention to your parents, understanding what's up. And if you stick to it, you'll be the smartest rapper alive.
Go.
Let's go.
Sure. Yo, I also want to shout out you Too Tuff, because when I called you to ask you to be on the show, you were actually picking your son up from school. And I don't have any children. I'm an artist. And when I hear artists doing like adult things, like taking care of their kids and their family, I just really respect that, because I can barely hold it together with no kids, So the fact that you maintain all that and keep your life moving, mad respect to you and your son, of course.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Means a lot. In the morning, sometimes it might be a little hard to bring good energy, especially if you don't want to get up. I find that the morning can set the tone. Obviously, the morning will set the tone for the entire day. If you choose to skip breakfast, if you choose to miss the bus and then get angry about it, you might not be accepting the outcomes of the day. It might not always go my way, but as long as I'm able to give the correct reaction. Like I used to get mad about missing a bus if I was going somewhere. Of course, it depends if I'm going to miss a flight and I miss the bus, I might get more upset than if I'm, on my way to a recovery meeting or on my way to church or something like that, where I can be, it's okay to be late. So, but in all situations, I learned one thing, the way that we react is vital. Let's say I got some dogs in my house and the mailman barks at the mailman barks. The mailman knocks at the door or whatever, here's the mail, puts the mail in. The dogs go crazy. Rah, rah, rah. Today I scream at him, shut the fuck up. Tell the dogs to shut up, and then I get the mail. Now the next day, the mailman comes, puts the mail in there, the dogs bark and go crazy. But I console the dogs, hey, chill out. It's just a mailman. It's just a mailman. Don't worry about it. Get in the house. And I get the mail. Now, those are two exact same situations where I can apply a different reaction, because people who grew up in Kensington and people who have had long histories of trauma, drug dealing, drug abuse, homelessness, these cancer in jail, getting shot and stabbed, some of those things might change the way that we think. So we can develop, I know I've developed PTSD over the years. So I might be extra on guard in certain situations where the average person might feel totally, unthreatened. But because of things that may have happened in the past, I may feel threatened in certain situations. So I may react different. So I try to maintain a certain awareness about my attitudes and what thoughts are going through my head. And my son had a lot to do with that, because I don't want to look like an idiot in front of a 10-year-old. Because I've looked across the street and seen somebody's dad screaming at their 10-year-old. And in my head, I said, oh, why is he doing that, treating that kid like that? But maybe there were times when I did exactly the same thing. So if I can, a little bit each day, progress over perfection, stay consistent. And that's even with relationships with other human beings, as well as, practicing how to scratch or make beats or posting on Instagram. Consistency is a pretty good trait to have overall.
That's right. Hey, real quick, I wanted to just jump to this right here. And this is this is the first album, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about this record. You guys are sitting on a, this was a big thing, the car in the image. But so who's who here?
That's me all the way on the left with the red. That's a Minnesota Twins hat. It says TC on it, Tuff Crew.
That's dope.
Shit on with a chain, holding up the fat Dookie rope chain that belonged to the boy that owned that Benz as well.
Yeah.
The boy on the Benz name was Fats. So if you listen to the song Open Field Attack, it says Fats got money to burn, burns money's fat. And those were the two people who were putting money into Tuff Crew, Fats and Happy, and named Burn. This album also featured 2 songs. This album was co-produced by Ultramagnetic, Said G, and Kool Keith. And this was the first album where we had access to a SP12. One song on here was called Kick the Ball, and another called B-Boy Document. And both of those turned out to be kind of like classic Philly hip-hop songs. And the rhymers on those songs were the Crown Rulers.
Crown Rulers, dude. Paper Chase.
Yeah, this is the front cover. If you flip it over, it had Crown Rulers on the back. So
I can't flip it.
It was difficult. No, you know what I mean. No,
I wish I could
have our own album and get outdone by the Crown Rulers.
That's funny.
We felt some type of way about this shit.
Tell us what happened.
Well, the next album we were able to change our style, and on our very next solo album after Fan Jam, we created Smooth Momentum.
Yeah.
Back, My Part of Town is Mad.
Dude, that album was just
North Side.
North Side. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. I could
knowledge of what Said G and Keith, showed us on the SP12, armed with that knowledge and given the freedom to make our own style of music, because the Tuff Crew before Danger Zone was kind of like aimed at a commercial audience. We wanted the goal was for Tuff Crew to be on the Power 9 at 9 every week and have some type of commercial breakthrough, which is not bad,
Look, I found your enemies, and they're armed with metal.
We armed them with that metal, so they definitely weren't our enemies.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it was an upgrade for us to get outdone. Sometimes you got to take a loss before you can readjust and regroup and then come back a little stronger. So salute to Crown Rulers for being a huge part of the whole legacy,
That's right. That was a Warlock Records too, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
That Fan Jam album is worth a nice amount of money too.
Oh, Wax, the original.
$7.
How much?
$78.
Nice, dude. If you have the test presses, though, you got the mothers and the stampers. Let's go, Too Tuff.
I got a couple of test presses in my over there hidden.
Oh, yeah. I know you do. I know you got some gems. What? Okay, you still hold vinyl at all? Like you still have anything from back in the day?
Yeah, I got about 60 records. Most of the records that I have now, I don't have any of my own records. I might have a Rec Shop album around here somewhere, but I don't have. They buy them off of me. I get, not that it's the money, but I know that it's a priceless piece for them. So I don't really, stick nobody up. I get a lot of messages that say, "Hey, look what I just found in the $2 bin," and it's album in Florida somewhere or
Yeah.
in Oklahoma or something. So the thrill for me has always been far exceeding the reach that I thought that I would ever make. You know, I've far exceeded the reach that I ever thought that I would be able to make as far as an impression in the music industry. Could never have imagined this. So, you know, if my career ended today and I never make anything else, it's been a pretty good run. You know, we had a lot of support along the way, a lot of long-time loyal fans that I messaged on Facebook for 15 years, and then I met some of them overseas. That was pretty cool.
That's tight. Cookie, you
But
want to say something?
No, I was actually just thinking how awesome that is. You know, like realizing that your reach is further than you ever expected it, and sometimes you don't even realize where it is. I actually want to share a story of when I played some shows with Schoolie, pertaining to the same thing about you with Schoolie, but just my perception of Schoolie, not his actual reach. But I knew him from Philly, like, hey, Philly, and I play guitar with him on some shows at some little bar or something. Then all of a sudden he's like, yo, come play this show out with me in California. And I played the show with him. And the Nokia Theater in Los Angeles was chanting the words to his song. And then all of a sudden I like took a step back and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know. like like I had respect for him regardless, but seeing how your reach expands. And then, like you, Schoolie, and you guys go to Europe, you go overseas and you do these things and you have this whole other like branch of listeners and people that dig your music that are in different countries. And I just think that's really awesome, man, because like you said, it's unexpected. And you guys created the ripples in that ocean before there was internet too, which is amazing. Because now anybody can put something online and be like, hey, you in Dublin or you wherever, check it out. But you guys were doing this shit before it was so easy to do.
Yeah, it seemed like a long way for the vinyl to get over there, because the only way that they really knew about Tuff Crew was by having the vinyl. It was only released on vinyl initially. Cassettes were kind of cool as well, because I guess I can tell you from my recent experience with trying to take vinyl overseas to sell at shows. If I would have been able to take vinyl overseas with me to these last two events, I would have sold out of whatever vinyl I had. But getting it over there comes with a little extra. You got to get a like tax ID number, and then if they're not promoted out to you or whatever, it's kind of a pain. It's kind of a pain to get vinyl over there. Now you could mail them to somebody's house, I guess, but you definitely ain't bringing too much, on the airplane with you. At least I didn't want to. If I would have brought 10 vinyl records, I wouldn't have been able to fit my clothes in the bag. And I had an aching back anyway, so I was less apt to do that. But again, the artist streams on where the artist is going to make money. It's stupid for me not to go there without vinyl and T-shirts, because that's the third arm of the performance pay, the T-shirt and the physical copies of the music, So for future artists and for future tours and or upcoming artists that want to know what they should bring with them, when they go to do a show, bring your merch, bring vinyl if you have it, or any kind of, music that you want to sell, whether it's on a flash drive. Now they got the flash drives that look like a credit card. So you could we put the Tuff Crew album on it, and then you just load the music onto it and stick it in the side. It's kind of the same size as a credit card USB. Pretty cool.
I want to ask you, since the last time you've been on the show with us, our show is music and tech, for the most part. Probably more music. We're more music. But we need the tech anyway. Like, that's a perfect example. You were DJing with tech, right? So have you dabbled into the blockchain yet with music? Have you wrapped your head around it yet on how you could possibly utilize it?
I have not, but I watched OT about a year and a half ago. He released released a song called Crack on Death Row, and it was on Death Row Records, and it was only an NFT. And I went to the NFT site, and I I played it, and then I screenshotted it, screen recorded it on my iPhone, and then sent it to myself by email, and then turned it into an MP3, and then I can play it at shows. But as far as me invested into the Bitcoin, and I'm not really so familiar with it. NFT, that was like the loading point for me, NFT. And then I don't know, it got a little. I decided to concentrate more on bringing good energy to real humans, and doing live performances in the furthest country I could possibly reach, you know. And then if the digital platform was presented to me, maybe in a more understandable fashion, or you know
Yeah, I gotcha. I want to ask you one more question that's actually pertaining to that. When you were overseas and when you're out doing shows and you're with Cool G Rap and rubbing elbows with Sed G and Cool Keith and, so on and so forth.
yes.
Have you heard anybody talking about the blockchain at all? Like, yo, I'm going to use with music. Have you heard any yet? Has anybody been talking about that?
Not really. Not in the circles that I've been in. But like I said, people have different people in their corners. Some people are innovators. Some people have see it into the future ahead of their time. It's good when you run into people like that, but I don't know much about the blockchain. Maybe we could, partake of an endeavor. But you seem interested. Seem like you know more than you're letting on. So maybe we could script a breakthrough on the blockchain.
Yeah, I mean, if you're unaware of it, Cookie and I for sure 100% can break it down for you, and so that way it's easily understandable, because there's a lot of things. Cookie, you could jump in here too, please, man, because I know you got a lot of knowledge on this, being a musician yourself and out there. Cookie's using a lot of cool things too, like these NFC chips.
Near field communication has been around for forever, but they're chips. So like you can make a hardware, or physical, I don't want to say hardware, but so now all of a sudden your baseball cap, right, that you're at the show that says DJ Too Tuff or whatever, your t-shirt, you can have authenticity chipped into it. But sky's the limit. You could have Bluetooth technology chipped into it. So when somebody gets in their car, they're wearing this sweatshirt. Now all of a sudden it comes up on the radio. I'm reaching here, but I will say this. I say that the technology, there's a lot of great things in technology today. But for me personally, I like experimenting with the way it gives you control of how you present your art. Not so much. So like you have one end of it, like Spotify and all these places that really don't do the propers with streaming, but they also don't do their propers with presentation either. I mean, let's face it, we used to lay back and on the wherever and look at the album covers, read the liner notes. We'd be like, yo, that's, DJ Too Tuff. Now nobody even knows the names of the artists that make the music a lot of times,
Right.
So I think there's a lot of great things with technology, and I'm experimenting with myself, and I'd love for us all to get together, put our heads together, and see, experiment. That's the way to do it, But ultimately, what you were saying about going out and reach people, the human connection, physically playing, and I'm with you on that. I think the world needs that real bad right now. So I think that's the first and foremost priority.
Yeah, it takes a lot more energy to do the real life stuff than it does to do the virtual stuff. Although it may be mentally taxing in real life, let them play rides. Them playing rides was all right. I remember coming back from the tour with Ultra, and I was still excited. And Cool Keith was like, man, this Europe shit, I don't know about coming back here. And then after I did about 5 or 6 more of them, I was like, I mean, of course, I would never say that I'm not going to go back there because I've lived for those moments. But with a pinched nerve, that shit was a little much. Whew.
I hear that. Yeah, they got a lot of love over there, dude. They really love hip hop. They love the musicians. They from my experience, they I don't know, it's just a different kind of vibe I think maybe because they're not seeing you all the time, whereas like you're in the United States and you're I guess easily accessible to see, hip hop performances, whereas overseas it's like they don't really get a chance to see American artists that often, only as long as you guys are rotating around through there, and they just love it. There's different respect. That's all I could say. Yeah. Different vibe.
Yeah, they over there. They come equipped.
They come equipped and they got good shit, dude.
Yeah. A couple people, they left their vinyl home because they didn't want to lose it. They knew they were going to be drinking, so they didn't bring their vinyl. Another dude told me he drove a very, very long way to see me scratch at the chip shop in Brixton. And then they were like, last song. And I didn't do my part of town yet. And he was standing in front of me like, yo, you didn't do it. You didn't do it yet. You can't leave until you do it. So give me more minutes. And I did it at the end. They were happy about that.
That's right. We got a few more minutes here, a few more minutes left until the end of our show here. So I want to take the time to thank you, Too Tuff. Pardon me. I just want to take the time to thank you, for taking the time out of your night, your evening, and hanging out with Cookie and I. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I know that you're out there hustling. I know that you're pushing. It's always good to do that. And keeping everything alive, and not stopping. This is like, you could have did the music and just been, who knows, doing like a regular gig, all the time. So I think it's awesome, and much respect to you that you're still kicking it and you're still, just kicking the balls, bro.
Kicking the balls. Thank you guys so much. Always an honor to come on here. I always got a full list of stories. If you ever run out of stories, I'll come on and tell 500 more.
Hell yeah.
Yo, man,
bro.
For sure, man. It's always great hearing you talk and hearing your stories. But one of these days, we're going to get you to do some of that too.
We definitely will. I'm about to send my phases back, even though I bigged them up on here. I do have a little issue with the phases. I don't want to trash no companies loud, say nothing bad about any situations, because they've been working fine for me up until all through the tour. When I came home, it seems to be a little issue, but I'm gonna work through it. It was great being on here with you guys. I'm glad that we got to have another comedic session with the legendary Too Tuff. Hear about our stories and stuff. It's my pleasure always to come on here, man.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
DJ Too Tuff, and you just checked out Jus Riffin.
Peace. So hey, we'll get with you also on the for the with the Tuff Crew itself, for Saturday. We'll figure out, just hit me up in the DM, and then we'll work through that. Or if you want, email us, whichever is better for you. And then we could definitely talk Cookie Me. I think we get on a call and help you out with the understanding of how you can utilize the blockchain. For yourself and for Tuff Crew. Would be really cool.
That'd be dope. I look forward to talking about it on the phone.
Hell yeah. And the fans would definitely love it. All right. Once again, thank you, Too Tuff. We greatly appreciate you being here with us and hanging out. Cookie Rabinowitz, thank you, my guy, my dude, my co-host with the most. All right. This has been Jus Riffin. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We do this every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Jus Riffin. Tuesday night, 8:30 EST. Know where we be. Jus Riffin. Special guest and second talk. A musicology. Jus Riffin. Coming to you live at the same time. Here every week. Jus Riffin. Jump in the room. Let's chop it up. It really ain't that deep. Jus Riffin.